Ingenious ways to use cinder blocks to spruce up the house. Everyone accumulates junk in their home. It's virtually impossible not to. We all need to buy new things occasionally, and suddenly, that old stuff you meant to throw away finds a home someplace else in your living quarters. Sometimes that old stuff can come in handy, especially when you have a DIY project in mind. If you have old cinder blocks in your yard, you might be surprised to find out that they're a perfect example of something cheap you might not want to throw out just yet. Sure, they're gray and boring, but they can actually be used as an inspiring motif for your home. It pays to think about cinder blocks like the adult version of Legos. On their own, they may not be much, but if you put a bunch of them together in the right combination, you can create something truly amazing for your home. Just take a look at what these creative people did. If there's one thing that anyone who lives in an apartment or small house knows, it's that junk accumulates way too easily. But have you ever thought about turning that seemingly worthless stuff into something useful and money-saving? Old cinder blocks are a perfect example of something you can use for cheap and simple DIY projects. 1. You can transform cinder blocks into a nifty bedside table. Instead of taking time out of your day to go look at small tables to buy, just make one of your own. All it takes is a few sturdy blocks and you have a place to put all of your bedtime accessories. 2. Turn them into an awesome plant holder. If you spend a lot of time in your garden, then this is a must. Pots and planters can cost too much and may not even be worth it in the end. Cement makes for a plant holder that won't ever break. 3. Turns out cinder blocks are great for creating a little ambiance too. The open areas of the blocks are perfect for holding lights, flowers, and other decorative items. They can also be stacked on top of each other to create a unique and industrial-inspired display. 4. What bird wouldn't want a home this safe? No amount of inclement weather is going to bother any winged creature as long as they seek shelter in this armed fortress. Safety comes first with this cinder block house. 5. Most people who own a backyard dream about having a lovely outdoor bar that they can use to entertain friends and family during the beautiful days of summer. Now, making one has never been easier with the help of some spare cinder blocks. 6. If you're going to use cinder blocks to create pots or planters, don't just settle for their bland gray color. You can use spray paint or colored markers to create great patterns that will spruce up your outdoor and indoor living space. 7. One of the biggest annoyances when buying a bed is that you usually have to buy the frame separately, and that can be pretty expensive. Avoid this entirely by using cinder blocks to create a firm and stable base for your mattress. 8. When you do a lot of outdoor cooking, one of the biggest concerns is making sure your grill isn't near anything flammable. Not only are cinder blocks flame retardant, but you'll never have to worry about your grill topping over with such a solid base. 9. If there's one thing your backyard probably doesn't have enough of, it's well-placed benches. Taking a seat and enjoying nature for a few minutes is one of the best parts of life, and that can be accomplished with some wooden slats and a few cinder blocks. 10. Hosting a festive get-together is something that everyone wants to be able to do, but not everyone has the space or the equipment to make it happen. But some strategically placed cinder blocks are sure to get the party started. 11. A bench like this will be perfect for your foyer or mudroom, or any room for that matter. You can make the bench as low or as high as you need to, and the cubbies below are the perfect place for storing shoes or other small items. 12. When you're looking at things to include in your backyard bar, don't just stop at furniture and food supplies. A little decorative vegetation never hurt anyone either. Having some greenery below your bar is sure to set a natural mood that friends and family will love. 13. If you're a big reader and have a large collection of literature, then there's no end to the creativity when it comes to using cinder blocks as bookshelves. You can turn them into sturdy bookends, or you can even place novels inside of them. Either way, your reading materials will stay organized. 14. Finding a place to store all of your DVDs, especially if you're a big movie buff, is always a hassle. You're tired of stacking them on random shelves only to get lost. But with cinder blocks, it's so easy to add space whenever you need more. 15. This idea is beautiful. Not only can you make a great fire pit in the middle of your backyard, but you can surround it with makeshift armchairs and couches. Just make sure you bring some pillows for comfort. 16. If you can't build your garden out, then build it up. If space is ever an issue when tending to your plants, stacking planters on top of each other will make plenty of room for all your luscious vegetation. 17. Uneven shelves are a modern way to display decorative household items. When you have a wall that's entirely made out of cinder blocks, it can be very easy to stagger them in a way that best fits the pattern you're going for. 18. Cinder blocks stack perfectly to create the set of stairs you need to enjoy a hilly garden or outdoor area. Simply create the width you want with any number of cinder blocks. Fill the hollow centers with dirt to secure them into the ground, and you're done. 19. You may not have the time or resources to build an entire grill, but a few cinder blocks can be put together to make a quick stovetop cooker. It may not make burgers and hot dogs, but you can heat up a mean pot of soup. 20. Anyone who owns property knows how important it is to have an area where you can discard unwanted materials. Cinder blocks make for a solid barrier that will keep everything contained in one place until you can dispose of it. 21. No backyard is complete without a fire pit. It's a great place to gather around at night and enjoy an evening cocktail or some warm, gooey s'mores. All it takes is a handful of cinder blocks, and you'll be ready to take on the cool summer nights. 22. If you have enough cinder blocks at your disposal, anything is possible. Create chairs, couches, grills, and planters with an award-winning backyard display that's sure to have friends and family wanting to come back again. You probably never realized just how multifunctional cinder blocks really were, and they're so easy to put together. So, get to work. You know you want to try some of these. Share these creative ideas with your friends below.